Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. So today, another of these fantastic diorama sets, like a multi-set from ICM. This time it's Wehrmacht armoured vehicles. And we have basically like a little command car, like a troop carrier, a little tank. Very reminds me of Lieutenant Gruber's little tank from Hello Hello, that famous BBC comedy series about the resistance in France in World War II. And of course we've got a Hanomag, a 252, I always get it wrong, don't I? Sd.Kfz 2511, I was going to say 2512, 251 from the Ausf.A, but there's the Hanomag half track as I call it, it's the easy way to remember it. So, we have got here kit number DS for diorama set, DS3525. Let's give you a little read of what we got here. It says a collection of 3 Wehrmacht armoured vehicles. The Hanomag half-track, Ausf.A personnel carrier, the Panzerspahwagen P204 multi-purpose vehicle, and the Sd.Kfz 247 Ausf.B command vehicle. So that's the command vehicle, the aerials. The Panhard is the little tank, like Lieutenant Gruber had. Each model showcases finely detailed armour halls, running gear and interior components. Individual markings provided for each vehicle, and 290 parts for the Hanomag, 247 parts for the... Sorry, I've got that wrong. Something's not right with what I've just said. 204 parts, 150 parts, 150 parts for the little tank, 247 for the command car, 290. So there's a lot of parts in here, and it feels heavy. So that's 150, 247. That's 300, 400. 700 parts in this box, pretty much. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Right, okay then. I'll have a look on the side. I'll zoom you in. Sorry, I'm just trying to laugh about Lieutenant Gruber and his little tank, which is at the front there. There it is. Little tank. So it's the Panzerspahwagen little tank, and then we've got the Hanomag, the 251/1 Ausf.A, complete with the MG34, I think it is. Is it MG34 or MG42? MG34. And then the command vehicle, which is the Ausf.B, the 247. So, quite a nice set. If you like your dioramas and you like your World War II German armoured vehicles, this is the one for you, isn't it? This is the one for you. So let's get straight into it. I have to say that I've misplaced my knife. I don't know where that's gone actually. Oh, there it is, it's hiding. I have to say I haven't seen the Panzerspahwagen or the command vehicle. I have seen another variant of the Hanomag, but it wasn't this version. This is more like the standard version, if you like, which we haven't actually had on the channel, I don't think, apart from as a communications vehicle, other variants that we've seen in the past. So, let's see if we can get this open for you. See what we can do here. There we go. I think we're in. Yes, we are. It's going to be interesting. Another new clever combo from ICM, making up a really good set, which could be used. You know, it could be anywhere in Normandy or the Eastern Front, any number of different locations. These 3 would be seen on the battlefield together. So we've got box within a box as usual. One bag for that one bag for that one, and one bag for the third one. The little tank. I won't be able to stop calling it that, will I? Alright, let's move that out of the way and see what we've got. So I think we'll start with... Why don't we start with the little tank? So what we'll actually do, I think I'll just separate them a little bit, because otherwise we're going to get really lost here. Put those over there. The little tank. Okay, the Panzerspahwagen P204F. The most numerous and perfect World War II French armoured vehicle was the AMD-35. It was produced and designed by the Panhard company as a reconnaissance vehicle for the cavalry. Its serial production was launched in 1934 and it was named Panhard 178. Those vehicles had rear engines and all-wheel drive. Their main armament was a 25mm anti-tank gun. That wouldn't knock out a Panzer, would it? I don't think it would even knock out a Shem, but anyway. It was for the tanks of the day, I suppose. They were produced 551 vehicles. There were produced 551 vehicles up to 1940. Okay. As part of the French Army cavalry units, the Panhard 178 took part in combats in the spring of 1940. But more than 200 of the vehicles were then captured by the German army under the occupation and redesignated as the SPZ SPA 204. Panzerspahwagen, so the Panzerspahwagen, Spa, it's just confusing, isn't it? Okay, using the Wehrmacht and also in the Waffen-SS, anyway, less about them the better. So it goes on to say, maximum speed 72 km, 50 miles an hour. It's quite fast, isn't it, actually? That's quite fast for a vehicle like this. Maximum range 300 kilometres, armament 125mm gun and one 7.5mm machine gun at the side as well. So for a little tank, you know, it does its job. It's a bit like the Humber, isn't it? The British Army Humber, very similar concept to that. Great for sort of observation, you know, reconnaissance work or lightning fast strike sort of thing that maybe the SAS might have, not this particular one, but the type of vehicle. I mean, you know, some of you watched this SAS Rogue Heroes, which is on sort of vehicles that units, special forces vehicles in World War II might have used. I'm generalising, you know. Anyway, there we go. So it's got a weight of 8.5 tons. It's quite heavy, actually. That sounds quite heavy to me for what it is. No, maybe not. Maybe not. It's only 3 Range Rovers, isn't it? Really, 3-4 Range Rovers. Has a crew of 4. Okay, very interesting. And it has armour thickness of 16mm. It's not very thick, is it? That's not going to take a hit from a Tiger, is it? Or a Sherman 5.5. Anyway, not to worry. Let's have a look at what we got then. Now I'm going to try and blitz it. There's a lot to get through here. It's going to be a fairly long one today. So I'm going to try and blitz through it fairly quickly. So forgive me if I don't go into quite as much depth as normal, because I just think we've basically got 3 kits in. It's going to take us all day. And I think you'd rather I just give you a flavour for it, really. So here's the decals, the German markings on. Just basically the German white kreuzes. Which all looks very nice, doesn't it? Nice bang up to date markings in terms of the quality. And then we've got our instructions. And they are... we've got our sprue tree map here. And we've got a few items that are different types of turret. So one type of turret obviously you won't use. Looks like we've got moulded, I think it's, are they rubber? Or are they actually plastic? No, it's plastic wheels and tyres. I think that's better. That's good. That's good. So what you're going to do is start to build up your hull and the floor, the internal floor here. And then you get your bulkheads going in. Driver sits ahead of a little bulkhead at the front. There's like a little, I presume it's to stop gunfire getting through to the main compartment. So the driver sits in this area here on a seat, fairly rudimentary one. Fairly basic looking engine, it has to be said here. And then at the side we've got, looks like it's got an air extraction fan. I presume that's for fresh air. Then you're going to build up your engine, and you've got sort of your cylinder head going on. All your ancillaries, like is that the fan? Is that the fan there? No, it's the suspension at the back, I think. Is it the drivetrain? It's a bit confusing actually. See the parts, it'll become clearer. And you've got all your ancillaries going on here, things like the carburetors and the pipes coming out of it, and then you've got your alternator and your drive fans here, all going in together, being dropped in. So actually I was wrong in what I was saying. It looks like the engine. Okay, so there's a bulkhead down the front, just going back to here. So the way the vehicle is, you can see it here, it's actually split down the centre, and the engine is on the left side, port side, and the driver sits on the starboard side, and there's a bulkhead between the two. Interesting. It's a bit like a Scorpion tank actually. It's got a little bit, slightly similar layout to that, although Did that have the engine transverse? I'm trying to remember. No, I don't think it did. I think that was similar. Except it was the opposite way around. The engine was on the right on the Scorpion. Anyway, I digress. So you've got your steering wheel going in here and steering column. It also looks like it's got rear wheel steer. So it's got a steering wheel at both ends, interestingly. It is interesting, isn't it? I think this has got more than I thought Gruber's little tank had in it, to be honest. Then we've got the rear fighting compartment where you've got a load of shells here, 25mm shells. You get your rear steering set up here. It takes up a lot of room though, doesn't it, having rear steering? So you've got a driver at both ends. It's like push you, pull me, isn't it? I suppose it's just to increase the manoeuvrability. Then you've got all your side armour here going on, including all the racks of like bandoliers of ammunition for the machine guns. And then you're going to bring in both your two hull sides in here to create the overall hull, which looks very beefy actually when you see it like that. It's quite impressive. So I like that. So I know some of that fan, that's obviously a cooling fan for the engine. I don't think they're worried about having big fans for the crew. Your front, the sort of hull, top of the hull, roof of it, so to speak, is coming in here. Your front bulkhead and basically the bumper, if you will. It's not got a bumper as such, but it's like the front valance of the vehicles here. Same at the back here. Yeah, so the engine's at the back, not the front. I've slightly tell you, it's a little bit misleading. So it's at the back, not the front, the engine. I thought that was the front earlier on. It's just push you, pull me, it makes it ever so confusing. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been confused by that. And then you've got your top deck coming in here, and then your top deck mounting with the gun ring mounting for the turret. You've got your ventilated grills coming down on top of the engine. And then over here we've got mud guards and stowage boxes here going in. Stowage boxes on the side at the rear. Quite a few stowage boxes in fact. And same on the opposite side. And then your basic hull is complete with your leaf springs in there. So then having built the hull, main hull, you then do the underneath. So you actually do the drive shafts and the differential. Very car-like, isn't it, when you see it like that? But it goes, you know, the differentials go in under the armour plating. I mean, I have to say, they're a bit exposed, aren't they, when you see them like that? They're actually exposed to anything like a mine or an anti-tank shell hitting underneath. That's very vulnerable. I suppose it wasn't intended to be a big heavy tank. It shows here your leaf springs and how it all fits together and the relative positions of everything. That's quite helpful actually, that illustration. Then you've got a little bit of additional anti-roll bars on the suspension going in here. And then you're going to build up your wheels and tyres, which I say are plastic. They're not, they're definitely not. That's curious, isn't it? Sorry, they're not rubber is what I was going to say. That's just curious, again, the way ICM have shown the angle. They're showing the angle here, it makes it a little bit misleading, but it's just to try and explain to you which recess goes into which sort of spigot to make sure you connect it the right way around. It just makes it look a bit odd that the wheels are at basically 90 degrees to the axles themselves. And then we're going to do the same on the other side here. And again it shows them at 90 degrees. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. And then here we've got the spade for digging themselves out of deep mud or sand or whatever. And you've got a couple of cleaning barrels and things for your gun barrels, cleaning rods I should say. You've got a pickaxe here, a couple of handrails, and then you've basically got your chassis complete. Just requires the turret. It's 25mm gun, and here it is. So here's your 25mm French anti-tank gun they call it. I'm not sure what tanks it could knock out, only small ones I suspect. Similar things to itself really. I'm not sure how well that would penetrate a well-armoured vehicle like a Sherman Firefly or a Tiger. I think it'd probably bounce off, but anyway, just don't think it's heavy enough calibre. But there you go, so you're mounting that into the turret ring with the breech of the gun. Then you're doing all this upside down of course, then you've got your gunners and commanders seats going in, you've got your rear plating, which the door access hatches at the back in fact. There's an escape hatch at the back, there's also a hatch above for the commander. here. You've got a couple of sort of portholes, viewing periscopes, and then you basically have the front glasses that protects the driver. That goes in there, complete with your mirrors, and then you put your turret on, and that is your little tank almost completed. Just a couple of little covers and hatches at the back to go on, including the exhaust. I think it is. Yeah, it's the exhaust system here. And then there you have it. That's your little tank, your Panzerspahwagen. So, France 1940. This is when it's just been captured in green. You've got in Belarus in July 41 in the sort of Panzer grey colour, and then Central Russia 1941 again. I mean, it'll be alright until it comes up against a T-34, and then I think it's game over, really, isn't it? And finally, you've got the Moscow region in December 41 in white. My goodness. Well, there we go. I have to say, from what I've seen in the instructions, it looks quite good. It does. It's got nice, sensible wheels and tyres, not rubber ones. I mean, there's nothing wrong with rubber if they're really well executed, like we saw on that the Ryefield Puma. That had them really good, didn't it? Sometimes they can be problematic. So let's have a look at what we have then. This is the beast here. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. Not too many springs. What are there? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. And we'll have a look at the wheels first, I think. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. Nope, I've got it wrong. It is, in fact, a rubber tyres. I'm not sure if I like that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at them first. I saw them and I could have sworn, was I looking at the other kit, I could have sworn it was plastic wheels. No, let's look at something else. It's not one of their new tool kits, but let's have a look at these tyres. Oh well, actually, they are nice, in fairness. Shouldn't be too down on these. See if we can get this into a good view for you. Those treads are really, really good, aren't they? See that? Yeah, those are really nice, actually. Again, for rubber. With my glasses, and these glasses are no match for that lens you're looking at it through, there's just a slight feathering of rubber flash. You can probably just make it out there. But in terms of seam, there's no seam to take care of. You just want a little trim on the edge. Just see a slight feathering there. See it, can't you? Yeah, just at the top here, on this side. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, just wants a slight clean up, but the actual, there's no seam to worry about, which is the biggest problem normally with these. Oops, there we go. Well, they're really nice. Actually, really well moulded. Just requires a tiny clean up on that feathered edge. They all like that. The other one's cleaner, isn't it? Maybe it's just that one. Let's do this like. Yeah, actually, it's on the mould. I think it's just one side of the mould has got perhaps not such a clean edge, and the others are all right. So that's actually quite nice, in fairness. Apart from that tiny bit of cleanup, maybe just lose a quarter of a point for that. But other than that, they're a good tread, and they haven't got any horrible seam that's really difficult to get rid of. They've just got a bit of a feathery rubber flash edge, if you know what I mean. Now here's the actual wheels. The inner wheels themselves, which are very nice, nothing wrong with those. That's that one. Then we have got, zoom you back. So then we've got sprue C. You know, this is the one that's got all some nice moulding here. Actually, you've got your double steering wheels here. Look at this, double trouble. Hope the front and rear drivers agree on which way they're going, because there could be problems otherwise. Over here you've got your 25mm gun, and I have to say this time, unlike that 2cm anti-aircraft gun, can you see the muzzle there? It's got a hollow muzzle. Can you just make this out? Yeah, the muzzle is hollow. That looks a lot nicer than the anti-aircraft flak gun. The one weakness in the kit, wasn't it? So that's really, really nice. Then you've got your drum, ammunition machine gun drum for the machine gun that's mounted in the turret. which is, he says, looking for it, which is, I can't spot it. Oh, there it is. Here it is, it's here. There's your machine gun. So that's nice. You've got a nice turret here. I can't remember quite which one is which, actually, because one of these you do use and one of them you don't. It's different. Seems like they've provided two. Oh, it's the glasses. It's got slightly different glasses on it. I think it's not that one. I think it's this one you use, actually, over on this side. I think that's the one I'm going to use. You've got all your differentials and your transfer boxes for your prop shafts. You've got your engine. That's nice, that engine fan. Look at this. They've bolted that well, haven't they? That's cool. That's very nice. Got some lovely small parts here. Look at those. A couple of universal joints there as well. We've got our ammunition storage rack here. That's the 25mm shells, I think. I'm right in saying that. And we've got the other half of the machine gun is there, on with the spade. And you've got various drive belts and what have you. All the hatches are here. Yeah, they've done a fine job of this. It's no flash. Beautiful. Really nice. Really nice. A lot of very small parts there, got to be said. Very fine parts. Huh. The top of the engine there as well. I like it. Very nice. That's that one. And then we have got the sort of the bigger sprue, which has got all the really chunky parts of the chassis, or the actual the hull, I should say, rather than the chassis. It's actually got, I didn't realise it actually has the spring leaf springs are built in, all moulded in. That's quite cool. Saves you a lot of trouble. And you can see these areas here where your drive shaft differentials go in, and then they get, well, they come out, I should say, get a little bit exposed, as I mentioned. Not good for Lieutenant Gruber. If he gets over a mine, he could be in a bit of trouble with that. Got your engine here. One side there, other side's here. And I like the way they've got all the rivets there. They've done that really well. And then over on the other final sprue, we have got our. This is the fan area, where the cooling next to the engine, the cooling fan at the rear side of the hull. And we've got the top deck here with the grill in it for engine cooling. And then you've got your floor, which they've done pretty well, I think. Here they've done that floor nicely with all the high grip surface internally, sort of hatched, sort of knurled steel. And then you've just got the various vents and hatches and grills. And then there's the ring, the turret. And I guess that's kind of it, really. I have to say that my heart sank a little bit on that when I'm going to give these a rating each, because it gets too complicated trying to give an overall rating for a diorama set, really. I kind of will give it an overall rating, but I think it's important to give one each. Well, actually, that's a sort of 9 3/4 out of 10, because I was thinking, oh no, they've gone and done rubber tyres, but apart from that little feathery edge at one edge, which I say I'm knocking a quarter off for, apart from that, it's executed beautifully. Really nice treads on those tyres, so not really a negative at all. So I'm going to say 9.75 for that one, which is a very good start indeed. Can I get it all back in, is the question? Never easy to do these. I just don't want to go. I need them in there. There we go. There we go. Super. It's a nice kit, that. Yeah. Kind of slightly better than I was expecting, if I'm honest, because I knew it wasn't a new tool part of the kit. That's a very good start. So that's that one out of the way. That's number 1 of 3. Number 2 is going to be our. I'll just do this little the command vehicle. Now what do they say here? Okay, I thought it was all in German then, it's just the way it's written. Schwere Gelände, yeah, he does start in German. He has a long title in German, which is Schwere Geländegangen Gepanzer Personnel Kraftwagen. Maybe I should have gone to night school a bit longer for the German. It's the Sd.Kfz 247 heavy off-road armoured passenger vehicle. It's like a command car, isn't it, really? Armoured car. It's a special command armoured unarmed vehicle of the Wehrmacht. Daimler-Benz was the only manufacturer four-wheel modification of the Sd.Kfz 247 Ausf.B. It was produced on the basis of the Horsch 108 chassis, basically a car chassis. In 1941 to 42, and 58 only were produced. Well, they probably didn't need that many, do they? Despite the small number, the car was actively used in the initial stages of the Second World War. Okay, it's got a top speed of 80. What's that? 55 miles an hour. It's quite fast because it's lighter, isn't it? That's why. So it's a bit lighter than the little tank. Yeah, it's got a look of it's got a very similar look to it of the actual Hanomag. The top deck has anyway. Crew of two to 4 men. Combat weight of 4.4 tons, so it's quite light. It's only two Land Rovers this time. It's got a height of 1.8 metres. Yeah, armour thickness 8mm. Oof. So it wouldn't take much of a round, would it? Anyway, I suppose it's not intended to go into the forefront of battle. It's more a scouting and communications vehicle. Right, I'm just going to release the plastic first, and then I'll quick look at the instructions. I say we don't really dwell too long on this because, yeah, time is of the essence, really. I think it's there's a lot to get through. So I will basically sprue tree map. There is one sprue where there's some clear parts on it, and you use almost none of them, in fact, apart from what looks like the lights. So on this one, you're building up the chassis rails first of all. So back to a more sort of car-like construction, if you like. Here, just zoom you in a bit. More of a car-like construction with chassis rails going in here. Building those up, complete with the mounting points for the suspension pickup points. Then you're going to sort of build it's like a ladder frame chassis. So you've got all your connecting spars that go across. Then you're going to put in your differentials front and rear for the actual drive. Then we've got the suspension. It's actually got wishbone suspension, so again very car-like. And it's got drum brakes for the look of it. Interesting the way that they're going in. And then you've got your anti-roll bars, etc. suspension, and this has got the steering at the front as well. You can see visible. And you've got the end of the it's like the end of the transmission housing going on there. Then you've got your lower, like ball joints, aren't they? Wishbone arms almost. Control rod, control arm. That's what I'm looking for. Get it right, jab. And then you've got your springs going in here, your coil springs. That's two, one on each side of the hub. And then you've got, again, very car-like, you've got these lower wishbones going in, attached to your coil springs. So it should have given quite a decent ride. It's got wishbones and double coil springs, so it should be quite comfortable. You need that round here on the roads where I live at the moment with all the potholes, but that's another story. Then we're going to finish off doing the other side, putting our wishbones in, putting in our engine, exhaust, all the drive belts are here. Put your engine in, completely its exhaust in, going into the chassis, drop it in there. Then over here we're going to put in our anti-roll bars for the suspension. We've got on both sides, you do it. Then you've got what looks like the bumper, assembling your front bumper. You've got your tow hooks, putting that on the front of the chassis. Then you're going to assemble your wheels and tyres. Now are these going to be rubber again? I think they are actually. Yeah, they are rubber again. Yeah, I think they're the same ones. No, they're not. They're different. They're different. Ignore me. It's fine. Slightly different tread, more of a conventional car tread on these. like an old surface car tread tyre. Then you're putting those on there. They get attached obviously into the hubs, and then you've got the bottom of your transmission exit here, and looks like you've got some sort of protection on the underside of the chassis. It's armour plate basically on the other side of the floor, and on the other side, and again they don't really tell you to turn it over. I think ICM need to maybe work on their instructions a little bit more. That needs to be flipped over so it goes to the other side. Then you've got your armour plating coming in on the sides, complete with the access door. And you've got some like a split access door on this side, which is quite nice on the port side. And your big mud guards, typical armoured car fare. You've got a radiator with fan here. And then you're going to bring your chassis and your hull together. Now you've assembled the whole parts together, and you've got things like you've got the gearbox control rods. Here you've got your prop shaft, which goes from the front differential to the rear differential, or the front gearbox, the engine gearbox to the rear differential I should say. You've got mudguards going in here, and there we have the induction system, the carburetors going on here, air intake and carbs. Steering controls here, and the instrumentation for the front dashboard. And you've got your rear bulkhead going in here as well, so dashboard goes in there, dashboard bulkhead goes in, and then the rear one goes in there. Then you've got your gear stick and your drive. I think it may be optional 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. Drive selector, gear stick and handbrake. And then you've got a very rudimentary looking seat, I have to say. It's almost like a bench seat, you know, nothing fancy at all. And then we've got the seats down the side. It's like, again, like a park bench, almost like a utilitarian, almost like a sort of thing you see at a bus stop, isn't it? That goes in, plus the driver's seat there. Whoops. Rear bulkhead behind the engine going in here. Sorry, I say that, it's at the front in fact, isn't it? The engine's at the front on this vehicle. Yes, it is. So it's the ultimate front bulkhead in front of the engine. And then you've got all your storage boxes, you've got your radio, because it's obviously a radio car, this. Radio equipment going in here. That fits to the bulkhead that goes on the side. And then you fit quite a lot of radio equipment in fact that are fitted in various radio communications boxes. It'll be shortwave and longwave radio, won't it? UHF, etc. That goes and gets mounted into the other side like that. And then you've got your viewing slits at the front, complete with the little pillbox protection slits. So there's like armour plating on the front of it. You've got the same like viewing ports down the side, sort of pistol ports, stroke viewing ports. Same on the opposite side. And then you've got these flip-up periscope type covers. They're going to go in complete with the little mechanism there as well. Gosh, there's quite a lot involved in this kit actually. It's got quite a lot of parts, hasn't it? There's lots of detail. Those front viewing ports with their hinges on, they're going to go at the front, plus the top hatch which accesses the engine. And you basically bring the top deck, as it were, down to the rest of the hull to complete the actual unit. And then you've got to put your front armour plated front valance on. Then you've got your exhaust system coming in here, and that's going to go on the side, just on the starboard side. And then you've got all these stowage boxes that are coming in to adorn the sides. Exhaust system goes down the side, and then your various aerials, radio communication aerials. You've got your pickaxe tools, another radio communication aerial, spare wheel going on, obviously right at the back. It almost looks back to front, this vehicle, doesn't it? It's got a slightly strange look to it in a way. But then, as I said, it does have a look of the Hanomag about it, even though it's not a half track, obviously. And then you've just got your various ancillaries. I think that's a fire extinguisher on the side there. On the opposite side, more stowage boxes, and then finally you've got a jack coming in here. And then finally your final aerials, and on the other side your final parts like your tools such as the spade. Your lights are going on there, and then there you have your finished command car. And then we have got here the options of Ukraine in the summer of 42. I bet this is in one of the Ukraine museums, is where they've got the reference material from. Russia of 41, or on the back here we have got Russia summer 41, or France in the summer of 44. D-Day onwards, so it won't last long against a typhoon, will it? But let's have a look at what we've got now then. Just bear with me one moment, because we have got some decals to look at very quickly. And the decals really consist of mainly, it's the number plates, isn't it, really, because they haven't got a lot of markings on. Apart from the white kreuzes. Again. Nice decals from ICM. Yeah. They do tend to stick very quickly, these. I know somebody was telling me about this. You have to be a little bit careful. They can stick very quickly, and but they're not as bad as tack on. They've got some very strange decals. We won't get into that today. But they certainly can give problems. But the ICM ones generally do perform well. But it's important to try and position them right before you sort of commit them a little bit. I don't think they like to move around too much once they've been put on. So that's that one, and then we will have a look at the plastics, see what you think about that. So far, it's another nice set, you know, another super product. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. So we'll start off with those rubber tyres, because I know rubber tyres and clear parts always make me nervous. Not so much from ICM, it has to be said. They normally do it very well in both cases. Now we have had one or two rubber tyres in the past from them that have been not that great. Let's look at these. Oh, these are nice enough. You'll probably see it with more definition because it's black than I will see with my naked eye, but I think those are alright. What do you think? They seem very nice to me, those. Yeah? Can't see a problem there. No great seam to worry about. Cover those with a bit of mud and they will look absolutely realistic, absolutely brilliant. Nicely moulded, they've got nice sharp treads to them. Yeah, very, very pleased with that. No problem at all. So that's good, because I say I'm not a huge fan of rubber tyres these days. I think on an armoured car type vehicle they're not so bad actually, but I'm not so sure about on aircraft. That's where I really don't mind. That's that one. Then we have got, sorry, zoom you back a bit. So then we've got sprue C, and we've got one here that's a duplicate, so we'll ignore that one. Let me just see if I can give you a C, E. Let me see if I can give you these in a sort of some semblance of order for a change. A, B, A, here we go. Right, is that A? Yes, A. Let's go with A first then. So this is the one that's got the major components of it on the top of the hull. And I got to say that looks really nice. You've got all those viewing stroke pistol ports strewn around. You've got this nicely knurled finished floor again. Yeah, they've done that really nicely. You've got your front viewing slits for the driver and the observer, and you've got your dashboard front bulkhead here. And yeah, they've done it nicely, haven't they? It looks really cool, to be honest. I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah, very nice. So that's A. Then I'll show you the clear parts. Now these are not terribly important actually. In fact, will I bother? Do you know what? I won't show you the clear parts only because all you're going to use of them, I think, is the two headlights, and that's it. And that really is all gets used. So all these, because it's based on a car, this would normally be all the car windows and the windscreen, none of which gets used in this kit, so we won't worry about it. I will just tell you that, as usual, they look like beautiful clear parts. There's no need to dig them out really. We won't bother. So let's go to sprue B, which is this one, and has got all the sort of side armour for the main hull. And on this you can see all the mud guards. You've got your spade and your fire extinguisher, spade. The jack is here. Parts of the radio gear. A bit more for this. Radio gear here, which looks very realistic. You've got your side. The whole sides here. Looks a bit like a Humber armoured car to me, actually, at this angle. But it's a bit bigger, isn't it? You've got your spare wheel there in a cover, of course. So that's quite well done. Sort of, you can just make out the tread, can't you? Under the tarpaulin type wheel cover. Got your engine here. That's your internal mounting for all the radio equipment. And here you can see some more of the radio equipment in the actual radios units themselves. Wireless, bit more of it here. So it's got what is it, 4 radio sets. Should be able to communicate with everybody. Should be able to communicate with the Führer from that sort of setup. Anyway, very nice. And then over here we've got the stowage boxes. So that's that one. Then we have got, as I say, there's one here that's duplicated, which is this one. I think it's E. And then this one we've got a lot of the finer parts. So we've got the coil springs there. And we've got some of the parts of the engine, trunking, I think it is. Got our wheels here. And we've got the differential there and the headlight. The covers there for some of these smaller stowage boxes. Then we've got our suspension wishbone arms and parts of the engine, top of the engine there, the cylinder head, and spark plugs come out. And then you've got a lot of fine parts here, so I'm not even sure what they all are. I think I see it. That's the aerial at the top, the bottom in the middle. In the centre of your image is the aerial, one of the aerials. That's why I say there's 2 of these sprues, so it's duplicated. So obviously that's why we've got two wheels, 2 inner wheels. So that's all pretty clear, but some nice details, isn't there? Again, no flash on these. Very, very well manufactured indeed. So that's that one. And then last but not least, we have got all the chassis components. So you've got all your chassis rails are here. And you've got a lot of your trunking and your wiring and your drive shafts. And some of your suspension components as well. There's one of the steering wheels there, and quite a lot of fine parts actually. If you look at these, that's some very, very sort of thin, finely moulded parts. Parts of the suspension and parts of the drive system, anti-roll bars, etc. Here you've got your drive belts for the engine. Pretty impressive stuff actually. There's some really good moulding there actually. And you've got to be careful when you cut these off because they are so fine. You need to be very gentle. Use your finest nippers if you've got fine ones to get those off. So there we have it. Another nicely moulded, you know, even though they've got the rubber tyres, as I always say, rubber tyres, but they do it very well, so it's not really an issue. It's just me, I'm a bit prejudiced. I don't like it. I just prefer the longevity, I think, of plastic, and that's what it is really. It tends to last a bit longer over the years, you know. Right, so that's what I'm going to give that then. Well, to be honest, it doesn't. Those tyre treads don't have the fault of minor flaw that we had on the little tank. It's kind of a 10 out of 10, really, isn't it? Can't really find. Again, maybe give it 9.75 again because there was a bit of a glitch in the instructions where they weren't as abundantly clear as they might do. And then finally, we have got the one you've all been waiting for, the Hanomag half track, which of course is the ubiquitous Sd.Kfz 251/1 Ausf.A. The main armoured personnel carrier of the German Wehrmacht was the half-track 251, created by the firm Hanomag. It was used to transport motorised infantry and heavy weapons, sanitary, staff vehicles. Sanitary, I think they mean medical, because obviously it's used as an ambulance, as we've seen before from ICM. And the communications, senior staff and communications vehicles were created on this basis. The armoured personnel carriers, that word sanitary is definitely a mistake, that should be medical, it's just translation, I think. An ambulance, I mean. Various were made on this basis. The armoured personnel carriers were in service with the German army throughout the Second World War and were used in all theatres of war. A total of 15,252 of these vehicles were built. Wow, that's a lot of Hanomags, isn't it? I mean, this was the go-to sort of transport, wasn't it? Armoured transport. Modification of the A was produced from 1939 to 1940. So this is the classic Hanomag, okay? Right, so we've got some decals, which I'll just very quickly get out of the way, because again, they're going to be fairly sort of basic rudimentary decals for not a lot of marking, other than, of course, a little bit of instrumentation. And you're just beyond where my thumb is, at the bottom right, you can see there's some instruments there. Speedometer and the rev counter. And some kreuzers. Now they've got the black and white kreuzers this time, and then all of your you've got some division markings, and then mainly it's just number plates, really, isn't it? Okay. There we go. So it says here, technical information, maximum speed 53 k's, so it's about 40 miles an hour, isn't it? For something that's tracked, that's pretty fast, to be honest. Half track, yeah, it's rapid. They didn't hang about these things. Combat weight 9.1 tons, crew of between 2 and 10. So you've got a crew of 2 basically, and it can take 5 men either side. Well, that's 2 plus 10, yeah, that's right. So it's 5 men either side when they've got seating down the side. Interesting. And the engine is a Maybach HL42 TURKN with 100 horsepower. Doesn't sound very much, does it, for hauling that weight? 9 tons, you know. Not sure if the 9 tons includes the men, I suspect it doesn't. And of course the armament was an MG34, as I said. 2 of them, one at the back and one at the front, 7.92mm. Excellent. There we go. Right. Spraymat. This version again, it comes with a very similar situation. It comes with a load of glass that you're not going to use. Just the headlights, that's all you need the glass for. And then let's get into our Hanomag. This is the one we've been looking forward to. Here we go. So you've got to build up your... It hasn't got a bathtub style to it. You've got to build up the floor and then the sides of the chassis. You've got those stowage boxes, of course, that go on the outside, like a rail on the outside. Then you're going to bring your lower chassis and your sort of floor together, which also the floor includes the mud guards. So, oh, this is inverted, of course. You actually attach then your stowage boxes that you've just created. Then you've got your side armour going in. On this occasion it is the starboard side, and then you do the port side. Sorry, is that right? Is that the wrong way around? Yeah, I'm right, yeah. Starboard then port. Then you bring in the rear framework that goes to the rear. You see it's got like a running board area, so it's for high grip really for the boots. Then you've got your things like I think is that a toilet, portable toilet? I think it might be, you know, on the side, and you've got a couple of stowage boxes. You've got the protection, that's the sump guard protection there for the engine at the front. Then you're going to bring in your suspension, your leaf spring suspension coming in here, and then you've got various anti-roll bars on the control arms for the suspension. You've got the rear protector, which is basically like a sorry, it's the front, big pardon. It's the front protector, I should say, for basically the front bumper to protect the vehicle at the front. And you've got the front bulkhead going in. You've got your engine coming in here, being assembled. You've got your alternator, your starter motor, etc. going on. On this one, you've got your, looks like the brake master cylinder being attached, exhausts, fan belts, drive belts, and the main flywheel there. You've got your cooling fans here, complete with drive belts coming off them. It's like a double cooling, twin cooling fan unit that goes on the front of the engine. There you've got your, is that the exhaust or the import? I think that's the exhaust manifold. And then you're going to drop your engine into the front of the vehicle there. Then you've got your front bulkhead coming in with your instrumentation and your dashboard, and you've got what looks like the brake master, is that the brake master reservoir? I think it is. And then we have got the machine gun being, the MG34 machine gun being assembled, and the gunner's seat. I say gunner's seat, it's actually the driver's seat. The driver's seat, the gunner doesn't have a seat at the front, he just stands up to use it. And then here you've got the various, the gear shift and the handbrake, and indeed the gunner's seat. So, is that the gunner's seat or the driver's seat? I can't make mine. I think it is a gunner's seat actually. We'll see in a second. Then you've got the machine gun at the back going in, which goes down the side on this like it's on this like an arm that it folds down and folds up again, so they can quickly use it like a telescopic arm. You've got here, what's that? Is that for directing traffic? Surely not. Or is it a mirror? It might be a mirror. I'm not quite sure what that is actually. Slightly foxed me that one. You've got gas canister here. Gas mask canister. This is the driver's seat here. There's your drive shifter, okay, controller, steering wheel going in here. What's that? What's that? Not quite sure what that is there. Slightly fooled me. So many parts here and there's nothing to tell us what they are. Is it ammunition box? Yeah, it's an ammunition box actually. Ammunition for the machine gun. Ammo box for the machine gun. And then you've got your side seats that I mentioned about the side seats down the side when you've got men in. So there's it's a foldable seat that flips down. You do that. Basically, one goes on each side. You've got your jerry cans coming in here, which is nice. Then you've got your steering and your anti-roll bar going in underneath at the front of the steering. Then we're onto the top hull, and we've got our shooting ports and viewing ports out the side, also an access port on the engine with a hatch that you can flip up on both sides. I think that's for checking the water, oil and brake fluid, etc. Again, ports around the side. There's a slight rim here for the machine gun mounting. Here you've got the actual flip up ports on the internal side with the hinging for the ports. Then you've got a periscope that goes in there as well. And then the port itself gets fitted in here. And then you do exactly, it's just a repeat now of what you've just done but on the opposite side. few final things being fitted in there, like the mirrors. You've got your KAR 95 or 97 rifles going in, and the rifle racks. So they're actually rifle racks, they're things I couldn't quite work out what they were on the sides. So that's where your Mausers go in there. Same on the opposite side, repeating the process again. You've got, I think it's basically a great big tyre iron type lever there. Is that what it is? It's quite hard to tell. And then we've got some radio equipment, it looks like here. I think it's a searchlight. They've maybe got a portable searchlight as well. All this equipment's going to go in and be fitted into the main compartment, and then you're bringing in that top hull comes down, the top deck comes down onto the top, and yeah, you get that equipment that fits in at the side of the starboard side. You've got your rear access doors going on there. Underneath, assembling our there's multiple wheels. There's actually 8 of these to assemble for the actual tracked road wheels. You've got your torsion bars going in here for the suspension for the actual drive for those tracked wheels. Then the wheels themselves go in, your inner wheels, and then here your outer wheels, road wheels. Then you've got your front drive wheels, because it drives, doesn't it? Basically, it drives. There is a drive shaft there, isn't it? Yeah, it drives the front wheels and steers at the front wheels. Obviously, they don't actually steer these. I don't think from the tracks. They just go in a straight linear direction. And then we've got our wheels and tyres going on, and your sprocket wheel here, drive sprocket wheel, and then your outer wheels going on there as well. And then you're going to repeat the process I've just shown you, but on the other side, same thing again. Complete repeat, all done again. And then ultimately you're going to bring on your tracks. Now the tracks, I think, are rubber bands. Get to that in a second. Yes, they are rubber bands, but I seem to recall they were rather nice ones, so I think that's not a problem. So you've got your tracks going on for your half track. You've got your towing eye that goes on the back. And then at the front you're going to put in your machine gun mounting here for the MG34, plus the armour plated shield. And then you've got more stowage boxes and equipment for tools. You've got like a track link remover tool, like a crowbar basically. Fire extinguisher here. This is the winch for the jack. And then here you've got your other MG34, the one that's going to go at the front, the main one, your headlight, and I think that's number plate light going on there. And then finally you're going to mount your machine gun and your aerial on the front, the mounting point for the machine gun at the front, mount your headlights here, and then it's just your final tools like your hatchet and your axe going on, and the number plate holder going on there, and that is it. You have made your Hanomag half track. It's a very complete kit. There's it's all there, isn't it? It's a nice one, isn't it? It's a nice one. So you got France, May 1940. Well, these were pretty new then, weren't they? Latest thing. Then you got Greece in May 41, and then on the back you got Russia, July 41, or you got November 41, say in the Soviet Union. So there we have it. Let us now see the plastic. I'm looking forward to this because all the other versions I've seen have been radio versions or ambulance versions, and I haven't seen the sort of standard version yet, so that is going to be very nice to see, I think. We'll pop that in there, make sure that it goes in properly. There we go. Last one then. I'm exhausted. I don't know how long this video has been running for now, but they're always going to be a long one when you've got 3 kits basically in one. I'm going to have a good stiff drink after this. And some lunch, I think. It's getting towards lunchtime. Again, the clear parts I won't bother with because there's no point really, because we know that none of them are going to use apart from the 2 headlights, and that's it really. So I won't worry about that really. A bit meaningless. Just wasting your time. So let's have a look at what we've got here. We have got sprue A and B. I think this is A. Yes, let's go with A first. So I'm doing it randomly, you know. I tend to be a bit random, don't I? Right, what have we got? Now then. Oh, it looks nice, that does. It does look nice. Let's have a look. That is really nicely engraved as well on the sides. It does look good. You've got real good detail where the engine access hatch hinges are. They've done that really well. You've got a great detail on this a little cooling grill, the one that goes directly above the radiator here. Excuse me. Over here we've got the interior with the sort of running board area, which is like a high grip surface of ridges for the troops to stand on. You've got all your little hatches, like the viewing hatches covers there at the front. Yeah, you've got your sump guard here. Here you've got your the front of where the instrumentation is, the instruments bulkhead. And then you've got a couple of stowage boxes covers there. And here we have the armour plate for the MG34 machine gun. It's nice, isn't it? I think that's part of the jerry can. I think it is. All very nice. Is that part of the seat, or is that? I think that's the back of the two seats. That's the seat backing, interestingly. That's that one. And then we've got B, which is this one. Zoom you back. There we go. And so here we've got the sides, the side armour plating. We've got quite a lot of detail parts in here as well. We've got the floor. It's not a huge vehicle, is it, actually? It looks quite small when you see the floor. Here you can see you've got all the suspension torsion bars come out for the drive system for the half-track. Quite a lot of small parts here for the engine, and you've got your suspension with your leaf springs there. Over here we've got our little cooling fans for the radiator. Got your engine here, main block and cylinder head. And over here we've got our various drive fans. That's the one for the fans on the radiator. This is the main engine fan belts and drive belts. Very nice. Flawless, isn't it? Here you've got the hatches. These are the hatch covers for the actual engine on the bonnet. Or bonnet, you could say. Or the hood, as our friends in the States would say. Really nice, really nice. So that's that one. Then we have got a double sprue set, which is the one that's got all the wheels on it. So we'll just do one of these, obviously. But you can see there's some really nice detail here. Look at the engraving and the way that they've got the bolts and the drive sprockets. I'm going to zoom in for this. Yes, that looks really cool. Look at those. Yeah, I like that. And over here you've got the other side of the drive sprocket, the inner side. You've got your... You've actually got some flash there, a little tiny bit of flash on these KAR 95 or 97 rifles. Mainly on this one, I've got to say, just on the butt. You see that? A little bit of flash. But other than that, they're really nice. Look at those. Nice rifles there. And what else we got? We got the seat, the cushion of the seat, the driver. You've got your little viewing ports with the little slits in them. And again, these are really detailed. Look at those. The slits in them are really well done. There's no flash there. That's really impressive. And then we've got our MG34 machine gun here. All your various torsion bars. Excuse me. I've been talking that long, I need a drink, that's what the problem. Time for a cup of tea. Very nice sprue indeed, there's two of those. That's that one. Then we have got we've got our, now this is interesting, I'll zoom you back a little bit for this, because here we've got the rubber bag, which has got both the steering front wheels and of course your half-track rubber tracks, which actually look quite good in fairness. So I remember these from when we saw it as the ambulance before. That seems to be called pretty impressive. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean the tracks are actually not very wide, but they're very well moulded. Let's have a looky see. Okay, so that's the inside. That's the outside. Of course, they're not. As I say, they're not very big because they don't have to be. That's very narrow tracks anyway. This vehicle. Yeah, they're okay. Nothing wrong with them. What about the wheels and tyres? Well, again, you'll see this slightly better. I do struggle a bit with my glasses when I'm looking at black rubber or resin. But no, I think they look okay, don't they? Any engraving on them? No. No, that's very acceptable. So that's your rubber parts. Looks okay to me, can't see any faults there. Nothing that's a problem at all. And then lastly, there's this one, which is sprue E, and this has got basically all the tools and the little fine parts of the suspension and the little connecting rods. I thought we had a jerry can in here somewhere. I don't seem to have spotted that yet. Maybe I've missed it. Steering wheel, one of them. You've got your exhaust manifold and your intake from the carburetors. You have got all of these little spades, etc. Let's go a bit closer. Let's have a look at them in detail. Radio set here. Trim wheel, some sort of trim wheel, isn't it, here? You've got bits of the exhaust system, you've got your, say the spades are there, and you've got your hatchet and axe. Just a whisper of flash, is that on there, on that axe? I think there is. Just a tiny bit of flash creeping in on 1 or 2 parts here. Not widespread, it's just isolated little bits. And then here, I'm sure that's part of the, again, I could have sworn that there were some jerry cans, but anyway. And then you got your steering rack rods for the steering. It's front anti-roll bar actually, isn't it? That's the mounting for the rear machine gun. Yeah, it's really nice. Just an odd tiny bit of flash just here and there. I'm just going to knock it off ½ a point for that, but maybe ½ a point's too harsh. Maybe ¼ of a point. I don't know. But did we see any jerry cans, or was that just a figment of my imagination? I'm starting to think it's a figment, to be honest. I don't recall seeing them on the sprues. That's all. So maybe I'm just seeing things I think are jerry cans that actually aren't. Yes, no. Yes, they are. It's just me, I just wasn't paying attention. There we are. I was right, because I recognised the handles. They have the three-pronged handle. That's where the jerry cans are. They're hiding in the middle of this sprue. Look, there they are. There's your jerry cans. Excellent. Well, I think I'm going to give it 9.75 out of 10, really. Yeah. Apart from that tiny bit of flash on 2 or 3 very small parts, not widespread at all. So I think we saw maybe 4 parts that had flash on, and that was it. And they were all easy to clean up as well. They were just like on the edge, weren't they? On the tip of the the pickaxe, for example. Not going to be punishing them too harshly for that. So, what does that leave us with then? It's a heck of a set, isn't it? I mean, I think this is retailing around about £75 mark, off the top of my head. Maybe slightly cheaper, maybe slightly more, depending on there you go. I have to say that there's many hours of building kit in this. I mean, that is just such an in-depth kit, and it's going to be quite, yeah, it's going to take up some of your time. At least a month or two I think you'd be at it for, because it's not a weekend build anyway. It's quite, I wouldn't say they were a beginner's kit, because it's just got that much sort of depth to it in terms of the, it's not going to want to go in there the way I want it to go, is it? But there is a lot of parts, and there's some quite fiddly parts, which is why I say probably not for beginners really. But it doesn't look particularly challenging to build. Not a problem, is it really? Not a problem. So I'll pop that in there, so we've got one bag for that particular vehicle. It's particularly important that you've got multiple vehicles in a set. You don't want to have all these loose things like tyres, because they'll easily get mixed up. There we go. What a fantastic set. I feel absolutely exhausted after reviewing that, to be honest. It's been a bit of a challenge, if I'm honest. There we go. Phew. A huge set indeed. Impressive stuff though, isn't it? I think overall I'm going to give the set 9.75 out of 10. I'm sure if you watch that in detail you'll see why. You might argue 9.5 because a little tiny bit of flash or one or two little bits of instructions that are perhaps could have been just a fraction clearer with a bit more info. But what a nice set, you know, you got a real load of plastic in there, 700 parts. And as I say, I feel quite exhausted just reviewing it really. So there you go. 9.75 is where I'm at on that. Hope you enjoyed it, thought it was interesting. Now widely available if you want to pick yourself up that. Do that and get yourself some figures. You can soon have like a Normandy scene or a Soviet Union Barbarossa scene, something like that. A very nice kit indeed. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting and entertaining, and maybe makes you want to rush out and buy one of these kits if that's your cup of tea. More coming soon. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe, very important at the moment, because trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, we're nearly there. Oh, we're just a stone's throw away. And thank you for tuning in and for spending your time watching the review. And until next time, thank you very much. Please stay well, stay safe. And until next time, thanks a lot. And bye for now.